She's fading. We gotta go. I'll get my car. What time? Yours. I gotta get me one of those.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bat Dance Discussions. And man, yeah, it's been a while since we've done a Bat Dance Discussions, and a lot has happened. A lot has happened with the development of WarnerMount. Yeah, things are happening right now. Things are definitely happening right now. And we got Jamar in the chat. What up, Jamar? Oh yeah, the plot thickens. And what up, Mama Bear? So we have a great show tonight, guys. We have a great show tonight, and I'm really excited to have this guy back on. Please welcome as I bring on Smackey. How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you doing? How's everyone doing?
I'm doing well. Been really busy lately, which, some stuff that we'll talk about at the end of the show tonight. Some really exciting developments. So yeah, guys, big announcement at the end of the stream, so be on the lookout. But
hopefully there's some foreshadowing.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, some foreshadowing. So you ready to talk some WarnerMount today?
If you quit saying that word, sure.
Well, it's the title of this stream, so
Yeah.
But just so people know, because we haven't really talked about this since the delay first happened, we are going to kind of go over the timeline since then. So there's going to be, at first we're going to be in the past a little bit, but we will get caught up to the present. Because I did change the stream this week based on some shenanigans by David Ellison.
Mm-hmm. Shenaniganery.
Even slightly updated the title. So You never know. I mean, heck, hopefully, Smackey, hopefully I don't have to get you to come on again tomorrow because something got updated right after our stream ended.
I mean, I'm fine if the deal collapses and I have to come back tomorrow. Just saying.
But, you know what? If that happens, maybe that's not so bad. I can live with that. But anyways. So here is the initial delay. I'm going to say this was the initial delay. I think it was technically August for like a day, and then it was June 1st. I'm just going to, I know this is not, so I'm just going to say before the trial was set, actually. So June 1st, or until a trial is held. So I have the articles in the chat, but we all know this by now. So if you really want to see the article, go ahead. But what was your thoughts, Smackey, when you heard this news?
I think I got up and danced a little bit. It felt pretty good just because I'm glad to finally see some people, in our judicial system have sack or ovaries for a change. So yeah, I was pretty happy, and the fact that it both coincides with the June 4th, I think, is the cutoff date for Zaslav, and for the appeal, it's just poetic. So yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and it was just nice to see is a real delay finally, because it felt like Ellison kept getting all these wins, all these Europe approved it, Australia approved it, China approved it, and so another country we'll talk about on the stream approved it. It was nice to finally see something real happen. All because again there was all this talk, and what up, TJ? All this talk about like, oh my god, like it's gonna happen. It's like I'm always like this. It's nice hearing about something happen, but Jamar, no spoilers, Jamar. But yeah, it was nice. Oh, and what up, Curly Ray? It was just nice to finally see some real action happen against this. Because, like, don't worry, dude, it's fine. I'm messing with you. But
no, I was giving him the hey.
It was nice to finally see some real action, a real delay, because I think we both agree. Yes, obviously I want Netflix to get Warner Brothers. That is the hope. But honestly, even if Netflix doesn't get Warner Brothers, it's not good for anyone.
No.
We've already explained why Netflix was okay and why Paramount wasn't. And heck, honestly, at some point, I'm tempted to almost do a stream breaking it down but that will be a stream for another day.
Yeah.
But, I'm actually glad you said that, TJ, because we'll talk about that. We will definitely talk about that. So, I wanted to kind of briefly cover this because this channel hasn't really covered it since we were talking about the lawsuit. So I really wanted to briefly go over the timeline a little bit. But it was really great to hear that. It was really great to finally see this delay. And then it finally happens. March.
Yep.
So I will kind of go over this article a little bit. So the March trial date. Judge sets Paramount Warner Brothers antitrust trial for March 2027. The judge hearing the antitrust case seeking to block the Paramount Warner Brothers Discovery merger has issued a preliminary scheduling order, with a trial set to start in March 2027, considerably later than Paramount was hoping for. I'm just going to say the judge because I'm bad at pronouncing this name. You see the name right here. On Tuesday, issued a ruling that said the trial will run a total of 12 court days, beginning Tuesday, March 2nd, 2027, and ending March 19th. in her order, she said a final pre-trial conference will be held on Wednesday, February 24th, 2027. The judge said parties may submit a joint case management statement by no later than noon on August 13th, 2026 for initial case management conference August 19th. So Paramount has asked its upcoming antitrust trial for November because, of course, they want it sooner. With the coalition of 12 attorney generals suing to stop the deal, and the Writers Guild of America asked for a date April 2027. And we'll talk more about this later, but the scheduling matters for Paramount, which will begin accruing a ticking fee. You know, we'll talk about that later.
Mhm.
But how'd you feel when you saw like this March delay?
Again, elation. But I kind of want to touch on the fact that they said themselves. So Paramount was asking to instead have the trial in November, correct? That's what the article was saying.
Yes, let's just shoot. Jeez, okay.
Mama Bear's
Hold on,
right. You're
let me
gonna
just
start getting shoe ads, man.
So, anyways, it was right. Okay. Yes. Paramount had asked the judge to schedule its upcoming antitrust trial in November.
Okay. So
Yes.
my whole point with this is they asked for this after the judge ruled that this was going to happen in March. So they were already preparing to try to get this deal done sooner. I think they wanted to have it done by August or September or whatever it was originally. And then once they found out about the March date, they're like, well, can we just do it by November? Okay, so then why is it, if this is the case, why is it then David Ellison is having secret meetings where he's saying, we're going to start preparing to leave the state by October 1st?
Yep. Oh, yeah. And we'll absolutely get into that. But I am glad you brought that up because I want you guys to keep in mind what Smackey just said. Because yes, I mean, but it shows that he's panicked because he was confident that this deal would close by October. It's clearly not going to close by October. He was even saying I think it was going to close in July.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's like the Disney Fox acquisition took 2 years. Like I don't know why he was so confident he was passed because he was confident that he could use his money, use his daddy's money to get past everything and get this deal closed fast. Because obviously, once you merge something, it's harder to unmerge.
It's funny that you bring up his daddy's money. I think it was either J-Mar or TJ brought it up, but they just shut down the entire TikTok office. And do you want to know where they shut it down?
Oh no, where?
Tennessee.
Huh.
So, and this is the TikTok office that his dad owns. That, they made a big ordeal about Oracle getting due to, our government and all that. And again, I've talked about it on your stream before about how Tennessee recently got the worst state to live in and all that, which is it's very frustrating for people to be like, oh well, I don't want to get too far ahead of this because I know it's probably going to get brought up later on, but it's just like, okay, so we want to move the studio across the country, and meanwhile another company that this family owns just laid off an entire section of their company, and we're just supposed to believe that these are the saviors of Hollywood somehow. Just have
Yeah.
faith.
Yeah.
The math
No.
don't
Yeah. No.
math.
I agree with you, man. Though I totally agree with you. Like it. Like I'm just glad though that Ellison at least is getting some delay, that things are not going completely his way. Because guys,
Mhm.
it should be hard for him. You want even if you're rooting for him, it shouldn't be easy, because if it's easy for him, then it's easy for other people. Like I said, I mean, I've said, like, whether or not that whole death in the family was valid or not, I don't know. Okay, I'm not going to act like he absolutely could have had a death in the family. My issue isn't that he had to miss that date. My issue is that he wasn't expected to make that date up. Like, if I miss something big because of a death in the family, everyone would be sympathetic, sure, but if there was some appointment or some really important meeting that I needed to go to, they wouldn't cancel it. They would say, okay, we'll do it a different day. And if this was, like, let's say, like, this was something that I was a key part in, not just some random meeting that was going to be a pretty face in. Like, if this was some meeting that I was going to have a big part in, that they really needed me, they would do it another day. They wouldn't just
Mhm.
be like, so what? Mm, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but that's why I'm just glad that something's finally not going his way, because you want things to be hard. You don't want things to be easy for everyone. You want, like Ted Sarandos. He showed up to court. He had to testify. He did everything he was supposed to do by the book. And look, guys, I'm not stupid. I know these billionaires do not do things by the book all the time. Okay, I know that. I know that. But we should always hope for and want them to do things by the book, even if it doesn't happen all the
I'm
time.
I'm I'm glad that you brought up Ted Sarandos having to go before Congress too, because apparently, I think it's Jamie Raskin. I think that's his name. I don't know him because he's not one of my representatives, but he's apparently been asking David Ellison for 4 months now to come and testify, and he has not responded to a single letter. And yet, and I'm not going to name names, but who we know who I'm talking about if I say certain grifters and certain shills out there are saying that no, that Ellison or anybody from Paramount shouldn't have to go and testify before Congress. Okay, but why doesn't Netflix have to? That's what I want to know.
You're absolutely right. You have to apply double standards. You have to apply the same standards, even if it's something you want to. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, if you want to say that we celebrate too early with Netflix, you can't be acting like Paramount's a done deal. It's the same type of principle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, like, again, you can want this merger to happen, but also say he should have to testify. Those two things are not mutually exclusive.
No.
Those things are the law, caring about the law, respecting the law, which, again, guys, I know that a lot of these billionaires do not respect the law. I'm not stupid, guys. But that does not mean at the same time that we need to be campaigning for it to happen. We should always we should always want it to work out that way. We should always want that to happen. So we shouldn't be saying he shouldn't have to testify. He should follow the law like everyone else. Even if again, I know it doesn't work out that way all the time, guys. I know that, but we should never campaign for it to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that way being them not following the law, just to clarify.
All right.
So, yes, Ted Sarandos showed up. He put his money where his mouth is. Because my big thing is, if Ellison thought he'd have a case, he'd have no problem showing up.
Exactly.
Like, why not just show up? Isn't it a lot easier to just show up and testify than constantly have to say no or constantly have to ghost them?
I don't even know where CinemaCon is, but I'm like, wasn't it in a different country?
Um, let's see. Las Vegas, so no.
Oh, okay, never mind.
But still, I mean, and like I said, you get one of those coincidences, guys. You know, you can't always have excuse after excuse. But it's just nice to finally see something not go Ellison's way. A trial finally have to happen, and one that he has to show up for. Which again, if he does have a tragedy in the family, not saying it's not valid, but he needs to testify at some point. Like you don't, it's a pause, not stopped. That's what that should mean. So I'm glad that something's finally not going his way. And let's see. You know, we'll talk later. We'll talk about that one later. But you know, because I mean, I was happy that finally things weren't going his way. But then, of course, UK says go ahead to what Smackey does not want me to say. So let me just read this article.
I mean, it worked in school, you know, like I couldn't finish my homework, so my grandma died like 15 times. So David Ellison is just using the same excuse.
Yeah. Yes. And what up, D. Broderick? I don't think I've seen you in a while, so welcome back. That's what I say. You know, once it's a tragedy, twice even, three times you have to look at it more closely. But anyways, UK approves Paramount Warner Brothers merger. So the UK has cleared Paramount Skydance's $111 billion acquisition of Warner Brothers on both competition and public interest grounds after Paramount beefed up promises about programming and news provisions. In a statement, the UK's Department of Culture, Media and Sports said, today, the Competition and Markets Authority have announced their decision that there are no competition aspects of this proposed merger in the UK. I'm just going to read this part again. No competition aspects of this proposed merger in the UK, which necessitate their further intervention. So, and then let me see here. There's okay, so the reassurances. So, media and streaming service. Paramount set clear intentions not to consolidate the combined groups of linear channels with its on-demand services in the UK, and Paramount has made a commitment that they shall retain distinct editorial identity. Children's programming. Paramount has promised that its children's channels, including Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network, shall remain editorially distinct and continue to commission and acquire original UK children's content. Paramount has promised to ensure that Channel 5 News maintains its editorial independence, that its editorial direction shall remain entirely separate. I mean, you know, we'll go over this obviously later, but I'm disappointed. Not gonna lie,
Yeah.
I was really disappointed. Now I do have a theory. About why this happened, but
What's
I'm
your
just saying,
theory?
guys. I'm just saying. I don't care if Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network are distinct. Oh, we'll get into that, but I just want to say this, give you your thoughts.
Okay.
But I just want to say it doesn't matter if Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network are identity independent. It's still under one parent company, so it's still not competition. So it doesn't matter how independent you make them, they're still answering to the same boss. So to me, one of those channels should have had to go. But especially again, as a child, those are two channels I watched. Those are like the two channels I would watch. So the thought of them being under one parent company, not rocking with it. But what are your thoughts on the UK?
I didn't think they were going to approve this, honestly. But you know, again, I don't want to name names. Like someone said, you know, when I brought up the corruption of having the Saudis involved, they said, "Oh, well, they bought our soccer team, and they've handled it with no controversy. And then I'm thinking, are you talking about the same Saudi Arabia and the same soccer league that was caught in repeated scandals the last like 10 years? So I knew that person wasn't being serious, but yeah, it's disappointing, and I don't understand how they can feel that way, especially when they are getting more and more of our filming, especially given what's happened to Atlanta, uh, which goes back to Paramount possibly moving here or Tennessee. It just doesn't make sense to me. If it like the whole I want to say Manchester United. I don't really know whoever is in the UK. Um, uh, but the like Jmar said, like bribery seems like that's what it's going to be, because I feel like with Marvel doing more and more filming over there, I would imagine that Paramount is promising more and more filming to go over there as well, because let's face it, it's getting harder and harder to film in the States due to like oh yeah, the Emirates. Yeah, okay, excuse me. Manchester City. See, I'm terrible with international team names. Um, I'm all about Atlanta United. Sorry. Um, so yeah, I think like yeah, it just screams like Paramount's promising more filming there, and hey Nessa, and I don't know.
Nesta?
It's yeah, it's just disappointing. That's all I can say at this point. It's just more disappointment from these countries, and it goes back to these people saying, well, AMC and Regal have approved it, and it's like that's 1,300 theaters. Okay, Cinema United, between the United States and the rest of the world, they maintain 60,000 theaters. 60, and then three more zeros. 60,000. That's way more than 1,300. That's the whole world. When everybody's saying, well, the whole world wants Paramount. No, Cinema United, that's the whole world. So that to me, it makes more sense than saying all this other crap about, the whole world wants Paramount.
I agree. I mean, I totally agree. It's like you look at, I mean, some of these, let's be honest, some of these bigger chains that probably would not be as hurt by it as some of these smaller chains. I mean, you got to consider that too. And you're right. I absolutely do think UK wants wants more filming in their country, because a lot of movies are filmed in the UK. And I mean, and that's what I'm just saying. Even if this was bribery, at least have them sell channels. At least make it look good. I mean, you could at least say, Ellison, okay, we'll approve this, but you do have to sell some channels. I mean, we do have to sell Cartoon Network. We got to at least make this look good.
Right.
So could have at least make it look good. But and now this is a little optimistic. I'm not saying this is what it is for sure, but I do have a theory that UK is actually very against this merger. But with the states and the WGA suing, they could just see the writing on the wall. They may not want to spend money on something when they feel that it's like, they're like, guys, the state attorney general's got this, the state attorney generals are suing, the WGA is suing. Let's not waste any money on this. Let's just let them take care of it. Because the reality is, if all these other countries' approvals don't matter, if the states stop this, then none of these other approvals matter, guys. Okay?
Right.
So and as the UK said, their only aspect is the UK. They don't have any say in what happens in the United States and like how it affects the United States or the rest of Europe, which again, they're not part of the European Union. In Asia, Australia, they don't have any say in that. Well, actually, I don't know if I should really say Australia, because I think technically Australia is autonomous to the UK.
Yeah.
So maybe, okay, Australia is a bad example, but these other countries, they don't have a say in. So it makes sense that they can only really dictate how it affects their country. But I do think that they don't want to make these stipulations because that's money they have to spend, that's money they have to pay fighting it, and maybe they want to still be on Ellison's good side. Because here's the thing: if UK plays ball, whether or not this goes through, as far as Ellison is concerned, they played ball. So they're like, we don't really want to lose this business. This is probably not going to go through anyways. It's kind of like, it's like how Nar Day Misfit, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, on Skiiwalker's channel was saying that it's like the same gamble that Netflix did. They're like, instead of outbidding Paramount, we're just going to let them go through so that they can get blocked and they can finally go away. So I do theorize, and again, this is just a theory. This is not absolute, but I do theorize. They're like, you know what? The state's got this. The WGA's got this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just let this go through, and then they'll block it on their end.
And didn't because I know the WGA is against it, but didn't the Actors Guild say something as well?
I don't know if they made an official stance on that yet. So what did Actors Guild say about WB Paramount merger? What did they?
Because I was talking to
Okay,
Cozy
so
about...
yeah, so they publicly opposed the Paramount Discovery merger binding safeguards. So yeah, I mean, they're not
like, who's in SAG, right?
Nolan. He. Oh no, sorry, he's the leader of the directors. I don't know why I said.
Well, I think they've also said something, but I could be wrong. But my point was, people a part of SAG happen to include Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, Ezra Miller, Jason Momoa, people like that.
Ray Fisher.
Kind of my point.
Yeah. So again, guys, just because some of these other countries approve it does not mean it's good. Because again, like I said, we don't know that what I said is true, guys. This is a theory. Again, this channel is called Dan's Thoughts. So these are thoughts that I have. These are not absolutely confirmed to be true. But I do theorize that the UK is just, again, they're not wasting time on it because they're confident in the WGA. I mean, think about it. This didn't come out till after all these lawsuits officially happened.
Right.
So it's kind of choose your battles, guys. Yeah, we know why.
Need a boogeyman.
And then, and it's funny though, Ellison's trying to get through with a 30-picture deal in writing. Oh, this one is good. This one is so good. So let's share this one. Paramount offers to put David Ellison's annual 30-film theatrical promise in writing. Of course. So, yeah. Okay, shoot. Okay, here we are. So, as part of its push to get theaters to support their pending acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery, Paramount Skydance has made offers to put CEO David Ellison's pledge of 30 theatrical releases a year with a 90-day theatrical window in writing. 3 individuals with knowledge of talks tell the Wrap that the company has told theater chains it is willing to enter a bilateral agreement in which Paramount has pledged to release at least 30 films a year for 3 years after the merger with Warner Brothers is completed, with a minimum theatrical window of 45 days before release on premium video on demand and 90 days before release on streaming. Insiders say the offer has been key in earning the support of the two largest movie theater chains in the United States, AMC Theaters and Regal Cinema, as well as British theater chain Vue Cinemas, all of whom have released statements in favor of the merger. So, you know, in theory, I admit, in theory, this sounds nice, but you know, what's your thoughts on this whole pledge in writing?
First off, what's up, Sky? And secondly, was it TJ like doing the
Sky.
math? Like, doesn't make sense because there's 52 weeks, like he said. And then again, 15 movies from each company, that means you're cannibalizing your own profits, which is always terrible. And then a 90-day theatrical window means that your theaters are going to be getting the majority of those profits, which, okay, great for theater companies, terrible for the actual film companies. So what the hell are you doing? Third, they didn't show what the writing was, so it doesn't guarantee you that the films that are released are either A, going to be new films, B, going to be films that were already in production, or excuse me, new production, meaning that they are going to be films that are either, they could just re-release something, because that's what they did, I think, either this year or last year with like Top Gun or whatever. And then, like, if you look at the films that they released this year, half of them were rejects from the last couple of years. And there was some film that they released, I think, in June or July of this year that was supposed to be like an HBO Max or Paramount Plus streaming movie, just like Avatar or whatever. So it's like, and then on top of the whole AI debacle, which we all know that's coming. So nowhere does any of that, stipulate that all of these are going to be fully fledged actual movies that are new and human made. They just said, yeah, we'll give you 30 movies. They're not going to be quality. They're not going to be new, but we'll give you 30 movies. We also haven't, delivered on our promise of 15 movies that we said we were going to do. And no other studio has done this in how many years? But we'll do it. So, yeah, it's bullshit, quite frankly.
Now, let's just check something. 30 movies a year. When was the last time no Hollywood studio has released 30 or more movies, wide release films in a single calendar year in the past 25 years? The closest the studio came was in 2006 with 20th Century Fox and Searchlight combined for 25 wide releases. Modern major studios typically release between 10 and 20 films annually. So, I'm really glad you said competition, like cannibalizing itself. You're right. I mean, it's like, a reason why this is going to sound random, but a reason why Subway is failing is because they didn't have any restrictions on franchise locations. They could put two Subways right next to each other. They cannibalized themselves. It did not go well. That's the same, you don't want to be competing against yourself. That's never good. But also, I'm really glad you said, I'm really glad you mentioned re-releases, because this kind of leads into a point that I make. What if the movies don't perform well? If they're crap movies that you just threw out there? What if, here's the thing, David Ellison what does this contract say? Does it say if the movie doesn't perform well, we can take it out of theaters? Well, yeah, let's re-release Superman 2025 in theaters, and we'll give it another 45-day release. But, it didn't perform well? okay, we'll take it out after a weekend. Well, it didn't perform well, guys. In the contract, that still counts as one of our 30 movies. I mean, well, I guess technically it said before video streaming, but again, who knows? Who knows? They might take it off streaming for a re-release. I mean, they can always do that, and they can make some crap movie. I mean, think of here's an example I love to bring up. A lot when before Fox owned or before Disney owned Fox, before that happened, do you know why Fan Stick came out? Do you know why that film was even made?
I know they had to do with the rights and the whole merger and everything.
Well, not the merger, because
Oh.
that wasn't happening yet. But the thing is, there's stipulations. If a movie is not, if you don't make a movie in a certain amount of time, you know who gets the rights back?
The owner of the
Yeah, Marvel. Marvel gets the rights back. So, and was Fan Stick good?
Nope. Well, we don't know because of how they treated him.
Well, yeah, I mean, it could have been really good, but the version I saw wasn't. But and that's what I'm saying. They might put crap movies out that they know are crap just for the sake of meeting the meeting the deadline. So, I mean, and also I think the Spider-Man, when I say the Spider-Man movies, I mean the Spider-Man-less Spider-Man cinematic universe. I mean, I'm pretty sure those are also meant to help hold on to the rights too. I mean, I know it's a little confusing right now with the whole Spider-Man and Marvel and Disney that I know. Okay, so if you heard that, sometimes when I press the wrong button on my Apple Watch, it just says the time for me.
No, you're good. I can barely hear it.
Okay, good. But that's like my big issue. That they can use loopholes, like they'll just make some crap movie that they intend to put out for 45 days and it didn't perform well. Sorry, we're gonna have to take this out of theaters. And I mean, how many theaters? Does it have to be all the theaters? Does it only have to be
Exactly.
some of the theaters? What if maybe AMC gets Superman 5 and Regal gets Top Gun 3, or what if you do something like I don't there's so many loopholes that Ellison could use to make this deal go through. I want quality over quantity, because it doesn't help the theaters guys if people don't see the movies. That doesn't help them.
That's a great point, because I didn't even think of that. Which goes back to what I was saying, is when you have Cinema United, they're presiding over 60,000 theaters, and then you have, in this case, if WB and Paramount go through, and they still own DC in this case, then all of a sudden you're only able to see a DC movie in an AMC or a Regal. What if you don't have that near you? Okay, and again, only 1,300 of those are in the United States. Then, okay, so what if you live somewhere in the United States and you happen to have one of those 31,000 Cinema United theaters? You're just shit out of luck. So that goes back to your point of okay, so what if they only put Superman in a Regal or an AMC theater? You can't go see it. You're going to have to go drive 2 hours if you want to go see the newest Superman movie or whatever piece of crap David Ellison is, going to push out with his, fake 30 picture deal. Because again, it hasn't happened in over 20 years, and it didn't even happen then. And that was a 2-studio thing.
Yeah. Yes. So I don't want to just hear promises. I want to see action. Even if you put it in writing, there's so many loopholes you can use. And again, I don't know I don't think technically select theaters getting a movie, I don't know if that's really legal, but is that going to stop Ellison?
Well, that's the thing. It's people keep saying, well, there's going to be penalties. What penalty? What law does this break? What are they going to do? Give them a fine? Who cares? They'll pay the fine. That's not going to stop them. They're a corporation. we live basically in an oligarchy, and like corporations can get away with just about anything just by paying fines. If it's a entertainment industry, all they have to do is pay whatever like minimal fee it is, because it's not going to be anything substantial, and then go about their day. That's it. If the dude doesn't even have to show up to Congress, do you think he's going to give a shit if he doesn't keep his promise for 30 pictures in a year?
No, he's not. That's what I'm saying. Again, it sounds nice in theory, but again, you have to actually, okay, hold on. Okay, let's see what TJ's saying, guys. Okay, let's people DM. And Sky, are you still in the chat right now? Okay, I mean, yeah, guys, so we'll cover that later. It's just, again, it's hard for me to like analyze something midstream when I'm running a stream, but I might take a little look at that one later. We'll see how the stream goes. But not what I'm really into is this though, because he's the one who has to. Because I mean, he's the one who has to approve this. Because I mean, he's the one who's leading the lawsuit right now. So, let's see how he actually responds to this. Because I think he says some stuff that I really like here. So, hold on. And Sky, okay, Sky, I saw your DM. Let me get through some of these topics, and then yes, I'll shoot you a link. But I want to get through some of these topics first. Okay, here we are.
What's up, Sin?
And what up, Sin Havoc?
You fucking nerd.
So, like another. Okay, let me reload. I swear, I hate these ads. These ads drive me insane. I'm telling you.
They want you to go on another trip, man.
California attorney. Yeah, I can't afford that many trips. California Attorney General Rob Bonta open to structural remedies in Paramount Warner Brothers suit, but calls 30 movies a year an old, stale promise. So, California Attorney General Rob said he considers structural remedies to resolve a lawsuit over the Paramount Warner Brothers Discovery merger, but dismissed behavioral remedies that are hard to enforce, like David Ellison's pledge that the combined company will release 30 movies a year. There's ways where the issue could be resolved with potentially structural remedies, he said. A political conference in Sacramento called the California Agenda. Paramount Warner Brothers are going to have to make business decisions for themselves. So there could be... So again, what he's saying is structural remedies, he says. I think they're eager to enter those talks, and we are very happy with where we are. Literally in every development in this case, we have won and they have lost. If they, in good faith and sincerely want to talk about a settlement with us, of course we'll be open to any proposal. So let's see, we know this. So this is what he said. He defined structural remedies as keeping certain corporate entities separate in the markets that we have challenged in our complaint. That's what we're interested in. We've heard a lot of what we call behavioral remedies, a promise to behave in a certain way in the future, a promise to make a certain amount of movies, for example, in a given year. That's a behavioral remedy. Those are not typically enforceable in the way we like. Oh, kind of like what we were saying. Not particularly good at solving the problem. Yes. Exactly. Look, I mean, I don't know what I would be like, what I would personally be okay. I mean, I would like to say nothing structural-wise, but who knows? If they make, there could be some deal where I look at this and go, you know what? This might actually be valid. Like, I'll say this. If Paramount, let's say there's structural remedies that have to get approved. I'll tell you this. DC needs to go somewhere else then. Like, I need, like, if I hear structural remedies, I need something big in all aspects of entertainment, not just CNN, not just the Cartoon Network cable channel. I am talking about other big things.
Yep.
So to me, you need to see one of Warner Brothers' biggest IPs go. Because if, let's say, some other company owns it, I'm still not happy about it. But at least the merger is less of a threat. And
Right.
I'm glad to hear that, Sky.
Yeah, same here.
But I guess, what's your thoughts,
No,
Smackey?
it's like Sinhamic said, that like it keeps going back to the Clayton Act, and that's what a lot of these grifters and shields don't understand is like this is an illegal merger, like full stop, and they don't understand, like you can't have two companies, especially when one is so much larger than the other. Like I'm sorry, but Warner Brothers is so much more successful, so much more substantial than Paramount has ever been, that like it makes absolutely no sense. Like before Skydance came along, I think Paramount was worth like $10 billion, and then like WBD, it like with their debt is 110 or 111. Like this is ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. And this idea that they can just like, oh well, we'll put a board on to make sure that CNN is bipartisan. It's like that's not enough. We'll make sure that Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon are separate in the UK. That's not enough. You've got to do more than that. Or better yet, fuck off.
Yeah, yes, I totally agree. I need, if this is going to go through, I need to see something big, something real big, to the point that this is no longer a concern. I mean, no matter what, I'm still not going to be happy about one theatrical studio becoming, like, 5 becoming 4. I'm still not going to be happy about that. Absolutely. But at least if that theatrical studio owns less IP, at least if some of the major IP are owned by other companies, at least I can feel like there's still some competition. At the very least, that can still happen. But I mean, sure, but to me, that's not enough. That's not enough to me. I mean, yeah, go ahead, sell Hanna-Barbera, because, I mean, especially I'll say this, since, is Scooby-Doo considered Hanna-Barbera? I know it's Warner Brothers, but I think
It
it's...
may be separate now. I don't know.
Wait, hold on. Is Scooby-Doo Hanna-Barbera? Let's see. It is a Hanna-Barbera creation. So, and I'll say this. I mean, I'll say if you sell DC, maybe sell Hanna-Barbera, because I kind of joke that Scooby-Doo is basically part of the DC universe now with all the crossovers they've had. So,
I mean, they've had comics for years now.
okay, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I've seen there's Scooby-Doo and Crypto. I mean, again, I've said before, they literally have a Scooby-Doo Halloween special that just has Jonathan Crane in it. And again, they mention him being from Gotham City. Like, he is absolutely Scarecrow. So, I mean, Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo is part of the DC universe at this point. Maybe not all the universes. Obviously, Zack Snyder, he doesn't exist in the Snyderverse, but some of these other universes, heck, even the current DC continuity, technically, I think he's canon. So, I just want to see real action, guys. I mean, I say actions speak louder than words. If you're willing to have you and Zaslav sell off some major assets to get this to go through, hey, at least you're talking business. At least, maybe I don't agree with it, but at least I can respect it more.
Well, I mean, Zaslav is selling off assets. He's just selling off his own assets because he sees the writing on the wall.
Yeah. Actually, I think, to me, you need to sell some Paramount assets and some Warner Brothers assets. That's what I feel like. Balance it out, and again, sell some good stuff too. Don't just sell the crappy shit that you don't care about. That's not a sacrifice. Make a real sacrifice here.
Yeah.
And I mean, technically, Mama Bear, that was a movie. I've seen the movie. It wasn't bad, but I hated how they left out Batman at the end. That really bothered me. So, but Ellison, that's who benefits, and
That's
anyone
the
he's
only
bribed.
person.
But and again, maybe he needs to consider this too, because the amount of money it could cost. So let's see. I mean, I know that. Like, what is it? Like, it's. Oh, okay, yeah. Hold on a second, because I had this right here, because there was a part of this that I want to go back to this article, because I think this article has what I'm looking for. Well, yeah, I know. Not
I
the
agree.
overrated James Cameron series, the animated series. Honestly, Mama Bear, after seeing that movie, that does not surprise me. That doesn't surprise me at all, honestly. But, we talk about the money it could cost. Right, where was that? Right. Here we go. The scheduling matters for Paramount, which incurring a ticket fee payable to Warner Brothers. Discovery shareholders per day until the deal is complete. The trial is scheduled to start roughly 5 months after that, which means Paramount will be on the hook to pay around $1.2 billion to Warner Brothers Discovery shareholders by the time the trial is scheduled to conclude. So, $1.2 billion. And that's assuming that no appeals happen, too.
Which I don't think there's going to be an appeal, because I think if they try to file the appeal, I think Zaslav is just going to pull the parachute, like straight up. He's already been on record saying that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. June 4th, that's the deadline, guys, and that's when Zaslav and Warner Brothers, they can be like, you know what? See ya, we're done, but you owe $7 billion on the way out. Which, wouldn't it be funny though if this was some plan between Netflix and Warner Brothers? Does like Netflix gets $2 billion? So
I'd laugh my ass off.
And that's why this is so detrimental to Ellison, that this deal has to go through, because time is of the essence here. This is what I think is really going to get this. I don't think it's going to be. I've said before in #JusticeForFives, it's the whole analogy I make in Star Wars Rebels. The thing that stopped Thrawn's TIE Defender project was they cut the fuel supply line. They cut the fuel supply. So once the fuel supply was cut, that means that his whole project was done. Palpatine's like, okay, we're going on to the Death Star project, the one that's going to get destroyed, that's going to get blown up in 5 years, which that's the timeline between Rebels and A New Hope. So, like, this is what's going to cost them. They're already in big debt right now. They already have major invest. They have to have all this debt. The Middle East owning a big chunk of this company. They can't afford to have more delays, because if an appeal happens, like, here's the way I look at it. If this goes to March till June 4th, the shareholders want this to go through. They might be like, you know what? Netflix deal wasn't so bad. So they're going to collect $7 billion and then probably just go back to Netflix's deal. That's what I think is going to happen. It's not going to be the lawsuits necessarily winning. It's going to be they ran out the clock. It's like another analogy. It's like if you're ahead in a certain game, like in a basketball, isn't that if there's not a shot clock, then don't players sometimes just like hold the ball at half court? I'm not a big basketball guy, so if that analogy is bad, I'm sorry.
I mean, if there wasn't a shot clock, you could theoretically, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, picture basketball without a shot clock. That's what this is. I mean, maybe they'll win. Maybe, but it doesn't matter because if they can't make their move, then the game's over. So,
and then you've got.
When did I say big chunk? I say a lot of stuff.
A couple minutes ago, but Yeah, it's the same thing basically. But the other two things that kind of have to be considered too is if the appeal were to, let's say they do try to appeal, an appeal could make it last another year, which means the ticker fee keeps going. If they decide to stick with it, that's just going to cost Paramount even more money, and I don't think they want to do that. I don't think Paramount wants to do that in that case. But then on top of that, let's say Ellison actually does want to go through with moving the studios, right? I sent you a picture. I think it's from the a Puck article, but like
Yes.
what's
Yeah,
up?
we'll hold on to that one because that
Okay,
one's coming up soon.
okay, yeah, but yeah,
But
moving that that would cost probably more than some of these ticker fees.
yep. Oh yeah. Which I'm really glad you said that. I'm really glad you said that. Like this, there has to be a certain point where it's just not worth it anymore. Because
Hmm.
I've always said this is what I liked about Netflix. Even though I was upset that they didn't try to outbid Paramount, they're a business. It was not an ego thing. It was not some winning Warner Brothers thing. It was a hey, this is a good way to grow our business, but we're not going to bankrupt ourselves just to get Warner Brothers.
Right.
Whereas Ellison, he will literally destroy his company just to get Warner Brothers.
Yep. And then destroy Hollywood while he's in it. It's
Oh yeah.
ironic that DC Talk says that because like uh they're it, why is no one talking about this? And when I say no one, I'm again talking about the Shills. Uh, the two companies that are supposedly merging both have competing Freddy Krueger movies. If they're merging, why can't they work that out?
What up, Rock Talks?
Yeah, what's up, Brock?
Oh yeah,
Like,
I know.
what
I totally agree.
you'd think if they're going to be working together, or technically one will be the boss or whatever, it would be like fairly simple to be like, well, since we have the international rights and you have the domestic rights, we'll just go ahead and make our version, and then we'll just you know distribute yours here, and then you can handle distributing this version everywhere else. That it should be that simple, but they're butting heads.
Yeah, yeah. It, at the end of the day, it's time is the real killer because time is what there is against this. That's why I think again, if David Ellison wants this to go through fast, he needs to settle then, and a real settlement, not some crappy stuff that's not really going to make a difference. I need to see something real. That's why I say DC because DC is probably one of Warner Brothers' most popular IPs, and considering that Ellison probably doesn't really have a plan to do anything with it anyways, and some other company does.
Hmm.
I mean, I'd rather Warner Brothers exist as its own company, but at the same time, if it does, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. And Sky, if you're still in the chat, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. So now let's go on to what really kind of pissed me off this week. David Ellison threatens to leave again. Okay, before I pull up this article, what's your thoughts, Smackey, on having to resort to blackmail to get your way? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
It's a bitch move. And I think that if you're going to threaten to move across the country, literally, because I know people are saying that they're talking about Texas, they're not going to move to Texas. I'm sorry, they're just not. Uh, it's going to be Tennessee because they already have some of the Oracle stuff in Tennessee. Um, and that stuff about Georgia, it's just not going to happen considering everything that has happened here already. Um, it means that you're desperate, and it means that you're a petulant man child, which he's already proven that multiple times throughout this whole ordeal. And this also proves that he has everything that he has said about like, oh, he's just here to make great movies and to do this and that, and every promise that he has made has been, he's been talking both out of his ass and out the other side of his mouth this entire time.
Yeah. Yes, and hold on, I just want to show what Smackey sent me real quick. So yeah, I mean, I just wanted to kind of show this if it doesn't. But yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if you have to resort to blackmail, my issue is that, again, what you were saying is you don't have a case. Like, if you do not have a case, so this is kind of where Paramount stands right now. So I just wanted to kind of show this because I think this is really interesting. But yeah, like if you have to resort to blackmail, you don't have a case. If you truly believed in your stance, if you truly believed in what you stood for, you don't need to blackmail. You know how you win? By arguing your case.
Right.
That is how you win. Because it sets up a precedent, guys. What you were saying, if this blackmail is allowed to win the deal for WarnerMount, what's going to stop other companies from doing this, from going against the law, from saying, you know what? What if Disney wants to merge with Universal? And, we'll say if they want to buy Universal and Sony. Let's just say that. What if Disney's like, you know what? We're going to leave Hollywood too. We're going to, we already have great standing in Florida with our theme parks. We're going to put our movie studio there right now. Like, what stops Disney from doing that if they can't get their way? Anyone who's supporting this blackmail attempt, I can't respect. Like, no, guys. Like, it's one thing if you agree with this merger, fine. But you cannot tell me that blackmail is okay. If you have a case, fight for it. But yeah, so let me just kind of share this article real quick. I had to change the article because at first it was letting me read it without an ad, and now it's like, oh, you need an ad. I'm like, crud. So let me just refresh. So David Ellison says he'll pull Paramount out of California starting October 1st. October 1st. Isn't that funny? If states refuse to negotiate settlement and antitrust suit. David Ellison is eager to reach a swift resolution in the antitrust case, 12 states seeking to block the Paramount-Warner Brothers Discovery merger. And in a move seemingly aimed at gaining leverage in the showdown, he's prepared to start moving Paramount out of California as soon as October, unless the merger is resolved through a settlement with the state's attorney general. Rob Bonta of Variety has confirmed. Ellison told Paramount senior executives last week that he will relocate Paramount's operations outside of the state if California deal doesn't close by September 30th. Sources confirmed to Variety the final hurdle to closing the Paramount-Warner Brothers Discovery merger is the state's antitrust case. Therefore, if Bonta does not agree to negotiate a settlement in a case by then, the company will begin the process of exiting California starting October 1st. Ellison told his team the Paramount Skydance board has approved the move. So, that's, of course, the board people don't get affected by this stuff. It's the little guys. It's the small people on top who don't want to relocate. So, and it costs money to move. The ticking fees still happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, okay, so here's my big thing. Just because he moves doesn't mean the deal's going to get approved. He's going to pay all that money to move. The deal doesn't get approved.
Yep. And then on top of that, how do you make movies if you're moving? If you have no studio?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Plus, too, I mean, here's my point. Too. It's not like you're going to move right away, right? Maybe you'll start operations, but then if the deal doesn't go through, there might not be any point. Okay, well, you lost anyways. You're going to spend more money just to stick it to them. I mean, it's very tacky. It's very careless. And again, I'm not stupid, guys. I know stuff happens behind the scenes, but when you're rubbing it in our faces, like, you gotta, like, I always say this, you gotta at least pretend you're not making this corrupt. Like, Ellison's not even pretending at this point that this isn't a corrupt deal. He's
No.
showing it in our faces. He's rubbing it in our faces at this point.
Yeah. Especially like I said earlier, with the entire, I don't even know. I know it was TikTok, but like that whole group got laid off. Like, if your dad is going to lay off them, and then I think it was like 30,000 people or 3,000. I don't know, because like earlier I was trying to remember if it was 900,000 or 9 million gallons for that water tank of Oracle employees. It's like, if that's what your dad is doing, and your dad is the one helping to back this merger on top of the Saudis, like, how are we supposed to have any faith in you? Like, because the buck stops with you and your dad. And both of you have shown time and time again that you are going to do whatever it takes to get your way, and it doesn't matter who you hurt in the process. Oh, you're muted.
You know why? Because I just drank water and I forgot to unmute myself afterwards. Because I always like to mute myself when I drink water so people don't have to hear my chugging. But yes, exactly. And Mass, I'm just going with what the article says. Yes, Sin Havoc, I know that. And like, I've always said this. I know the world is not fair. I know the world is unjust. But that does not mean that I ever have to just be okay with it, or ever have to accept it, and ever have to just be like, you know what, I'm fine with it. No. I am still going to speak out if something's unfair. I know there's a lot of unfairness that happens in the world. I know there's a lot of injustice in the world. I know that. But that does not mean for a second that I need to just approve it, be okay with it every time it happens. Like, we can still do our part to make life as fair as possible. Life is not fair. I agree with that. But that doesn't mean we can't do our part to make life as fair as possible. That's always so. And I'll say this too. I mean, is that lot going to just disappear? Is it going to just, like, poof, it's gone? Or is someone else going to buy it? Because if someone else buys it, like, let's say Netflix, it may not even be a big threat to Paramount. Because if they can get that business, if someone can fill that void that Paramount was leaving, a studio that's more financially stable, they may have just done California a favor, maybe. So,
Yeah.
like, I'm just saying, guys, blackmail is not the way. Blackmail should never be the way. We should never accept it being the way. And anything else you want to say about this one, Smackey?
The only other thing I will say is, again, I don't think that any of the the people blacklisted, obviously they're not going to work there, but I don't think any of the people that haven't been publicly blacklisted, or who aren't like staunchly against this, obviously they're not going to work there. But then I don't think that they're going to be able, let's say Paramount does move to Tennessee, they're not going to be able to get anybody to, they're not going to be able to hire anyone in the state, just straight up. I don't think they'll be able to. It will not make any sense to, it won't make sense to move there in the long run. It just straight up won't, because it's already difficult to get insurance in the state as is, and then when you throw in the factor that they're trying to build a movie studio there, and with all the difficulties going on in the state right now, that's just compounding the issues. So yeah, it's like they're shooting themselves in the foot to prove a point that no one agrees with. So good luck.
Yeah. Yes. And then this is where I like to say, this is where David Ellison is now against Rob Bonta and Yeah. I mean, and guys, I know there's a lot. I know, again, there's all this politics stuff. I want to still try to keep it as much about the movies as possible. We can dip into it a little bit, but let's not saying it's not true. Just don't want to get too far into it, is all I'm saying to the chat. But anyways, I want to show his post on Twitter, or I'm sorry, X, Twitter. So this is what Bonta makes a good point. In a span of weeks, Paramount has agreed to halt the merger until a court decision or until June 2027. Asked for a November trial and is now back with another attempt to blackmail the state into letting an illegal deal through. Paramount has lost the plot as it continues to lose in court. It didn't work the first time on the eve of our July lawsuit, and it won't work this time. I guess, what's your thought on what he says here?
He's dead on. I mean, everybody keeps trying to make this about politics, and it's just like this. It's about the law, and like straight up, it's about the law, and it's about people. It's about people's livelihoods and like our I know it's just entertainment, but at the end of the day, like, it's also our ability to afford that entertainment, and like it's kind of ridiculous to have fewer choices. So, it's about what's right. Simple as.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying, guys, again, it's about, I'm not even going to say anything more. I think what you said was perfect. So now I want to share this topic right here. So David Ellison told top executive Paramount will exit the deal. Oh, wait, no, sorry, pulled up the wrong article. I'm sorry, guys. I have a lot of stuff in this chat right now. And again, like I said, guys, because I always want to make sure I'm clear with people, because I don't want people to say, well, yeah, that's not how life works. That's not, I mean, again, I know I'm repeating myself, but I think it's really important. I think it's really important that we understand, guys, that. Oh, wait, no, I think I had the right article. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is what Ron Bonta responds. So he says, this is what we covered on Twitter, and nothing else really in here. But I want to show the WGA's response, because the WGA is not okay with this either, and it just, and like I always say, blackmail is not. I know I'm being on a dead horse, but blackmail should never be the way. But let me just see what the WGA says. So WGA says David Ellison's threat that Paramount will leave California over Attorney General's antitrust lawsuit proves the danger of its outsized power. So, as expected, the Writers Guild of America has not taken kindly to Paramount, Skydance CEO David Ellison's latest threat to pull storied studio out of California if state attorney general refuses to settle an antitrust suit to block the planned merger with Warner Brothers Discovery. By threatening to leave the state because it doesn't want the government to enforce the law, Paramount further proves the danger of its outsized power over the industry and what that will mean for writers and the creative community. The Guild said in a statement to Deadline on Tuesday afternoon, this type of behavior is precisely why the merger should be blocked. Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess, what's your thoughts on that?
No, I completely agree. Like, it's, it's like we keep saying, the fact that it's gone from one thing to another, because he keeps getting his ass beat and he keeps getting denied. It's just like, it's just like during the Netflix bidding process, like he got turned down like 9 times. He couldn't take no for an answer. So it's just like it makes you wonder what kind of guy he is beyond this. And it's, at a certain point, somebody has to stand up. And I'm glad that there are at least some decent people out there.
Yes. Well said. And I don't care if this has been a business tactic forever. That doesn't make it right. That doesn't mean that we need to be okay with it. That doesn't mean we need to accept it if it's being thrown in our faces. And I'm glad the WGA is speaking out. I'm glad Ron Bonta is speaking out because that, again, that should never be okay. And Sky, if you're in the chat, check your DM. But yeah, I mean, it's just, like I said, it's always been crazy. It's always been ridiculous. And this to me is just the latest despicable move with this all. So, guys, it's nice to see Paramount getting humiliated. And the fact if Ellison had resort to this, he knows it's not a good deal. He knows that if he really had a strong case, he wouldn't resort to this. The WGA knows this. Ron Bonta knows this. The fact that it has resorted to this proves he doesn't have a case. Like, if you strongly believe in your case, you don't need to resort to blackmail. If you strongly believe in your case, this is not the way to do it. Mm-hmm. Because, and here's the thing, people might say, well, what if doing it the right way hasn't worked? Ellison hasn't done this the right way at all. No. He's literally bribed people. He's missed hearings. Like, he has not done this the right way to begin with. And, like, my big thing is this. He's upset that he might have to pay a ticking fee if this doesn't go through. You're the one who made this promise, okay? You made your bed. You have to lie in it.
They're the ones that set up the ticking fee.
Yeah. No one asked you to do that. You asked to do. You told yourself to do that. So, yeah. This is on you. This is on you. So, yeah. No, yeah. Not surprised. I mean, my God. Paramount Plus as a streaming service sucks. Like, I can't even watch anything on Paramount without it crashing. Like, if it wasn't for South Park, I would never get Paramount Plus. And some other shows, too. But, like...
I mean, they nearly were going to leave Paramount. Remember that whole debacle?
Oh, yeah, I read something about that. Yeah, well, because, the South Park creators, they've been true blue. They've been true blue.
They wanted to leave. They were like, this is awful. We don't want to be here anymore. They had to get paid like $1 billion or something.
Yeah. Yeah, Yes, exactly. And hold on, guys. Just got to send a quick message real quick. So. But yeah, I mean.
One day I'll catch up on Avatar. I started it. I still haven't finished it.
And again, Sin Havoc, I know that. I know that. But I still try to, as much as possible, because, like, my channel, I want to be an escape from this stuff. Like, I will talk about it as necessary as it is to this merger. That's the most you'll get out of this. But other than that, I don't want to get too much further into it because I don't want this to become a political channel. Unfortunately, and like I said, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a little difficult with this merger because it's a big part of what we've been talking about. But at the same time, it's, again, this is where movies and politics overlap, which is annoying, but now, if whether or not we'll get someone joining us, we'll see. But in the meantime, crazy out there theory. I would say the big thing that got me was when they talked about major concessions. Because, like, I want to go over. So I think this ends two ways. I think there's the more rational theory, which is, after this crash and burns, Netflix gets Warner Brothers streaming in studios as originally planned and Six Flags. Yes, I know that kind of came from Sin Havoc, but I kind of wanted to throw Six Flags in there just because I want to. Just because I have a feeling that they want to get in the theme park business. But yeah. The other one is that Netflix is not going to wait for this deal to crash and burn. Warner Brothers is going to have to sell in parts, whether the deal fails or they have to make concessions. And a major concession is DC. He seems more desperate right now. Like I said, if he's going to make this pass, Netflix or Warner Brothers may have to make some major investments, may diverse some stuff. Same with Paramount. If DC is for sale, I think Netflix is going to get it. But I guess based on today, do you think? I know your thoughts about the crazy out there theory, but anything new today based on what we've covered?
Well, I think just as I got home, I was reading something about how they're willing to sell CNN now. So I think that continues to lead credence to your theory. Because if they're willing to sell the one thing that, which I'm not going to get into politics, but, politically, that has been the one thing that everyone keeps driving home is the roadblock, then if that is the one thing that everybody keeps saying that they're buying WB for, then you have to imagine they're willing to give up other things as well.
Yeah.
So,
and especially with DC Studios not doing well, I think the only company that really has a plan with DC right now is Netflix. But okay, guys, he's on now. I have this guy. He's here. We kind of got through everything. So I'm going to bring this guy on. So before I bring him on, first, I want to hear what he thinks about my crazy out there theory. And then we'll move on to a segment called Cooking with Sky. So what up, Skiiwalker?
Hey, what's going on, gentlemen? Hope you're having a wonderful day. And thank you for having me on.
What's up, Sky?
Of course, mate.
Hope you're feeling better.
Really...
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, same here.
It's still kind of coughing, but I got some energy back, though, so that's a good thing. You know what I mean?
I agree. And, yep, Skynet. Well, not yet. So far, he has not been Skynet yet. I know I've seen him yesterday. He was Skynet a little bit, but important thing is take it easy. And, hey, this is a good way. You don't have to run the stream, so you don't have to use as much energy. So before we get on to this segment about cooking with Sky, because I want to hear some of your thoughts on this, what's your thoughts on my crazy out there theory with the possibility of Netflix getting Universal and getting DC separately if, let's say, Warner Brothers has to sell in parts, whether it be concessions or this deal doesn't go through and Warner Brothers is desperate? Not saying it's the preferred option, just as a possibility of this happening.
I mean, it's definitely possible. Warner Brothers being able to get this deal done as is, I think the chances of that are shrinking every day, and you're seeing it by all of this crashing out. I think that, because I was actually going to cook on this, but I saw that the homie Bat Dan was live, and I was like, you know what? Let me just go over here and see if I can pull up over here. And because y'all was discussing the same thing, right? Because I'm about to crash out. So I'm probably still going to do that tomorrow. But if you really just take a look at what's happening, it's like they try to act like, oh, it's cool that the deal is not going to go through. It's cool that, we have to wait till court. But then they start, hey, but also, if you guys don't stop this lawsuit, we're going to pull out of California, and we're going to pull out of New York, and we're going to pull out all these places. And and just listen, the DGA, right? So on and so forth. And look at the UK, and they're trying to say that this deal is good too. It's like, bro, ain't nobody listening to you guys, right? And I'm glad that Bonta said what he said, because wasn't gonna be no language in there that, hey, if y'all don't put 30 movies out, you gotta sell the company. That shit wasn't gonna be in there. It was just gonna be, hey, well, if we end up not meeting the quota, we'll just pay you guys $1 million. Like, man, get the hell out of here, bro.
Pocket change.
Right? No. We know what this was. Obviously, they're not cool with this shit going to court because they're behaving like children. This dude, David Ellison, ain't pull up for no damn Senate hearing. He ain't did none of that shit. They didn't even divulge where the money was coming from. They tried to cover up where all the money was coming from. Did they not?
Oh yeah, they did. They didn't even downplay how much the Middle East was going to get.
Yeah, they lied. They lied. It was like, oh yeah, and they're not really part of this deal. right? And then it came out, well, actually, they're a huge part of the deal. And actually, when you add up all of their shares together, they're probably going to hold a majority afterwards. And then you got people like Cosmic Book News over here. Well, hey guys, maybe the Saudis can just buy DC. Man, get out of here, bro.
He even said today that if this deal doesn't go through, maybe they can just buy WB.
Oh yeah, excuse me. It was WB and not DC. Thank you for clarifying that, Smackey. But here's the thing, though, right? Doesn't that tell you that that's who's really behind the deal anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shout out to that cat too, man.
Oh,
Bruh, it was a random cat outside my door this morning, bro. I had to send a message to the concierge. I was like, yo, if anybody's missing a cat, it's in front of my door.
Well,
and I had to
especially
send
if
him
you
a
have a
picture.
dog.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
No, but the cat was chilling. Harley was way more scared of the cat than the cat was of Harley. For sure, because we was going on our walk. The cat was just there, chilling.
What up, oh so fresh? But yeah, I mean, if a dog and cat aren't trained to get along, they won't.
Yeah.
They won't get along. I mean, again, I know cats and dogs can't be trained to get along. I'm not saying it can't happen, but they can't. Pets don't always like strangers when it comes, unless it's people. Pets are weird, but they're awesome. But
yeah.
Yo, I'm telling you guys, man, it is so clear that this deal is bad for the industry. It's bad for the industry. It's bad for Hollywood. It's going to cost so many more jobs, right? Because the Netflix thing was never supposed to be an option, guys.
Mm-mm.
That's what you don't realize.
Nope.
It was never supposed to be an option. This was supposed to go down like how it's going down now, but much, much smoother. That's why he was out there guaranteeing that it was going to pass the regulatory committee. That's why he was so sure. Because this was never supposed to get this far with Netflix bidding like this. That's why the people who've been trying to downplay Netflix this whole time. I saw some there, what was it, Cinesource? Literally gonna sit there and put out a damn tweet talking about what Netflix ain't gonna be doing with theaters on a day they just announced a fucking movie's going to theaters.
A Ben Affleck movie, mind you.
Ben Affleck, yo, it don't get, these people are compromised, bruh. You are in an information war. That is what is going on here. It is spin everywhere I look. Can't even have honest conversations. Oh yeah, but they said that, it's going, that they're going to do 30 movies. Bro, they ain't never done no damn 30 movies, bro.
Can't even do 15 now.
That's like a movie every 2 weeks.
I mean, I think it's
less
possible
than that.
They'll technically do it, but it'll be some crappy movie or some AI movie or something that just to check off a box. That's what it'll be if they do it.
Do y'all remember the beginning of this year, we started seeing trailers for that movie where it was like a girl hanging out by the pool, and all of a sudden you look behind her, and in the corner there was a chimpanzee just staring at her all menacingly. And it was just a movie about an evil, like I guess super smart monkey. I think it was just called Primate or something.
Oh, I think I remember that trailer.
That was a Paramount movie. That's the kind of trash we're going to get 30 times a year. Oh, and then maybe we'll get like Jackass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, re-released or something. I don't know.
Well, I want quality, not quantity.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. If let's say David Ellison broke his promise, released 15 movies, but they were 15 bangers that all broke records, you know what? I would give him credit.
Yeah. The only reason why he can't say that is because he's merging two of the biggest studios in Hollywood. And so he knows that they would technically, I mean, because look, if Paramount was able to put out 15 bangers right now, that would be something that we could look at. But that's not even true. If they can't produce 15 bangers in a year, what are we talking about?
I'm pretty
not
sure
even 15 movies.
They got like beat by Sony last year in terms of box office.
Oh yeah, Sony was killing
crazy. And they just merged with another studio. Like, yo, and I refuse to let people forget that. That shit just closed last August, a year ago. Maybe even a year to the day. Who knows? Right? But we supposed to sit here and believe that they got the best interests of the consumer in mind when they can't show up to the Senate hearing and answer questions. They can't give us nothing but these empty promises about what they're gonna do, right? But nothing with no real teeth behind it. Like I said, put a clause in there that say, hey, if we don't put out 30 movies in that first year, this company get broken up. Do that. do that.
Yeah. No, not only do that, say it has to go to Netflix. Make a deal that, say, hey, you know what? If this doesn't get it, Netflix gets Warner Brothers.
Yep. The same people you tried to fucking snake them away from in the damn first place. Yo, you know what? This deal is so obviously trash. Warner Brothers turned this deal down damn near 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
Virtually the same deal. And now all of a sudden we're supposed to believe that this shit was better? And it's all these lawsuits happening? WGA, their own subscribers, their own fucking, their own shareholders, 12 states. I know what the fucking UK said, but I don't think that the fucking EU has weighed in on it.
I thought the EU approved it.
That might have been before then, because I just heard about the UK. The UK and the EU are two different things.
Yeah, I know. UK is not part of the EU, but I think the EU approved it July 22nd apparently.
Okay,
whatever. They had a joint venture, but yeah. But
out here campaigning for foreign governments to own American studios. I need you guys to understand what's happening. That's why you're getting that, hey, maybe the Saudis can still buy WB. That's why you're getting that. That's why that's happening. Dude, because that's really who is behind this deal in the fucking first place.
Yeah, I don't want a foreign company to own a major IP, like a big American company like DC. I don't want that to happen. I mean, I wouldn't.
Yo, look, I was just telling the homies, right? Because I'm a big boxing fan, and the Saudis have been huge in boxing these last few years. They've been huge, putting on some big events with some big time fights and all that stuff. But some of the things that they do, it doesn't like mesh well with American viewers. A lot of times these fights are on at crazy times for us over here, right? Then, like I was just saying as an example, they was bringing up having a shrinking ring during a boxing match.
Huh?
Yeah, bro, no lie. It was one fight where people was mad talking about this guy was running. It's like, oh, he was just running the whole fight. And Turkey Al-Sheikh was like, yeah, we could do this thing maybe where like the ring gets smaller. And it was like showing people like diagrams out. I'm like, I'm not about to fucking watch that. Like, what are we doing?
A battle royale boxing?
Exactly, bro. Then I was just talking with Apex Lux because he's huge in the wrestling thing. He was like, bro, it's been a lot of stuff going on that it's like, hey, it's just not really meshing well with the American audience, right? So that's what happens when foreign governments get involved with American companies and they have a hand in these decisions. That's what's going to happen. I promise you. Wonder Woman is going to be in full armor. You're probably not going to be able to see her legs. Like, I'm dead ass serious. Like,
Yeah.
I've been to some of these places.
Also,
y'all think it's like here, but it's not. It's not. It's not the same. Like, yo, their laws are completely different. They have a completely different view of the world. It's fine, but it's like, that's not how we get down over here.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I would want to impose our way of living on Saudi Arabia. I don't want them imposing their way of living.
My points exactly.
Like, because again, if I have someone from Saudi Arabia watching this channel, I have no issues with your country, guys. Okay, I have no issues with, but you wouldn't want Americans imposing our views on your lifestyle. So I don't want views imposed on our lifestyle, and that includes our company. That includes a major IP. Like, Superman is the American hero. That is what he is. I mean, yes, he cares about the whole world, but he's known as the American hero. Like, most of these characters, these major characters, are in the United States. Even Wonder Woman. I mean, I know she's in Themyscira at first, but when she leaves the island, most of her business is, when she's teaming up with the Justice League, is done in the United States. I mean, yeah, I know she's traveled Europe.
Right? Hey, what's going to happen when they go to Themyscira and all the Amazons are covered up? I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like, y'all think this shit's a joke. I'm sorry.
And again, I don't, like, if there was, like, an artistic choice made for that, that's one thing. But if it's forced because of a country's political views, that's another thing. That's an issue I have. Like, I don't want...
Oh, my... Oh, wait, real quick, Dan. Because this has been something... Bro, we already have been having to curtail to China on so many of these things, right? Where, like, the posters be different, they'll get different cuts of the movie, right? Like,
oh yeah,
y'all remember when Star Wars came out and Finn wasn't even on the fucking poster, right?
They wouldn't even show Black Adam because of in China,
right?
Oh
yeah. Black Adam couldn't even get shown. Couldn't even get shown. This is what happens when you have these things going on and you have influence from other countries. And we're going to ask for more of this? And then try to convince certain fan bases that this is a good thing and that we should all be happy? Because, hey, I mean, look, we're already hearing restrictions. Oh, well, look, you know, Zach could shoot the Nightmare movie in Saudi Arabia. I'm like, what the hell? What? Why do I care about where this movie gets shot at?
I mean, sure, if there's some creative reason to shoot in Saudi Arabia, I'm not against it, but that's not like, I'm not like, oh boy. I don't care where it's filmed, honestly, as long as it's somewhere that's good for the production. But there's nothing special where I'm like, this movie has to be filmed in Saudi Arabia. Why would, no, I mean, like, if let's say, like, Spider-Man Brand New Day, I mean, now I'm not from New York, so maybe I've missed some obvious things, but, like, I know it wasn't filmed in New York, but they made it look good, so I don't really care. But it doesn't matter.
Bruh, I was not in that movie theater like, oh my God, this does not look like New York. I don't know where they shot this at. Never crossed my mind.
I mean, I can tell you Brand New Day looked a lot better than, what was the last one?
No Way Home.
No Way Home, but that's just because all of the old Marvel films, I was like, that's my home. Like, that's Atlanta. I can tell that's Atlanta. So it's just like No Way Home. I'm just like, yep, that's my street. I know that street. Been there. And then all the green screen because of COVID, but whatever. But like Brand New Day was like, that looks like New York to me. So yeah. But like shooting you know, like yeah, they can go shoot this over in Saudi Arabia because of nightmare sequences are all in sand. It's like it it don't have to be shot on location. It's like we're not going to go shoot this on Apocalypse or what the
I
fuck are
mean,
you
Or
talking?
look in New Genesis, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, but
Like,
I mean, the nightmare scene looked good in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and was that all? I know the ending scene was filmed on his driveway, but was the
mhm,
nightmare scene filmed on his
yeah,
driveway?
yeah,
Okay.
that was that whole little epilogue part with the Joker and all that, and that was during the nightmare
mhm.
for sure. That whole little part.
So I don't know why like foreign entities owning something is so appealing. Like I'll be honest, as much as I'd rather Warner Brothers exist as a company, I would rather Warner Brothers be split up and Netflix owning DC separately than it falling under complete foreign leadership. I don't want that. I mean, and again, that shouldn't.
There
It's
is nothing wrong with saying that, bro.
right,
Right?
exactly.
Because I'm pretty sure they wouldn't want us owning their film companies either.
No,
Right?
No,
Like they put films out too. You know, I'm starting to notice a certain trend, right? They put out that other movie with Anthony Mackie recently, right? I mean, I'm not sure if they have anything to do with that Mahershala Ali movie, but that might be a situation
oh,
too, right?
yeah, that's a good point. I mean, now granted, I will admit because he was already in Luke Cage for continuity purposes, if you're not going to have that, you have to have that take place on somewhere other than 616 if you're going to go forward with that. But yeah, I mean, still though, I mean, he had a chance to be in a great movie, and they're like, nope, not happening. And it's like the way they left him dangling all this time too. I really don't respect. Like, I just
Hold on. Let me see who is actually putting this movie out. Let me see.
at the end of the day,
It's
we just want entertainment.
Amazon, MGM, Orion Pictures, and 2 and 2 Pictures. Okay. I don't know who 2 and 2 Pictures is. Maybe I was wrong, but nah, it has some of them vibes in it. I ain't even gonna front. But yeah, like yo, they had that Anthony Mackie movie put out, you know. I don't want American companies influencing what they got going on, and I don't want uh American companies trying to influence what China got going on with their movies, but I also don't want them influencing what the hell we doing over here either. Because I'm telling y'all, man, like some of these things are not, you know, I mean, look, I ain't really trying to go too deep, man, but you know, I'm gonna just leave it at that. Some of these things is not cool, and I ain't gonna be sitting here like just is saying that I'm gonna push for a foreign government to own bigger and bigger parts of Hollywood, and for us to like it just keep having to change what we're doing, and yeah, I'm not.
And chat, guys, no
I'm
throwing
gonna go on
shade at
mute
other countries.
before I say something crazy because
Okay, but don't go anywhere, Sky, because I actually want you to be here for when I make my big announcement. But I just want to say, guys, no going after other countries directly. We can say that we don't want other countries controlling American interests like this, but don't. On this chat, I mean, whatever you feel personally, that's okay. But in this chat, let's not go after other countries directly. But yeah, I'm really glad you said all that, Sky. At the end of the day, we just want good entertainment. We want it. We want the integrity of the entertainment. And I'm not. I mean, again, Netflix wanted Warner Brothers. It was just the price tag. If the price tag goes down, what's stopping Netflix if Paramount's out? If anything, Netflix has higher negotiating power. So, guys, let's see how this plays out. You know, a lot of but yeah. So, anyways, so guys, just see what happens. But I think we don't think this is going to go for Paramount, guys. I don't think this is going to go good for Paramount at all. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And I now have a major announcement I want to make. Now, I kind of made this announcement before I know, but I've kindly figured out how I want to officially do this. So I've mentioned before that I'm going to get into theme parks, and I'm really getting into theme parks. In fact, I finally have a recording of my review of Kings Island. It's a theme park in Ohio owned by Six Flags through the merger with Cedar Fair that I'm happy with. It took me a while to get a recording I'm happy with, but I got one. So I have to edit it, though. It's not coming out this week, guys. I have a lot of editing I need to do with that. And that's what the shirt is from, my time at Kings Island. Sky was actually kind of an influence on this because he mentioned, this channel's called Bat Dan's Thoughts, and I haven't really done a Bat Dan's Thoughts in a while. I've done discussion shows, watch parties, and interviews. I haven't really done interviews in a while either, though, honestly, but I've done a lot of discussion shows, but I haven't really done something individual with Bat Dan's Thoughts, the show, not the channel. Again, there's two Bat Dan's Thoughts. Like how I say with Netflix, there's the overall parent company and the streamer. It's the same thing with this channel. There's the original show that started the channel, and there's the overall channel. So the overall channel will cover DC as it stands right now. But the individual channel will now be dedicated to theme park coverage because I really wanted to bring back Bat Dan's Thoughts. And it's hard to really do edit, because the thing is, okay, with this Paramount thing, because a Bat Dan's Thoughts, I really have to edit. I have to go in, I have to edit, and news changes after a while. And I really wanted to get into theme park coverage. I really enjoy talking about Epic Universe. I've been going to Six Flags Great America a lot lately. And I thought, you know what? My home park is Great America. My favorite ride there is Batman.
On accident.
No problem. But anyways, so Bat Dan's Thoughts still works for me, and I thought, you know what? I haven't really done Bat Dan's Thoughts in a while. Sky is right. I need to bring back Bat Dan's Thoughts for the channel. So I thought, you know what? Going forward, Bat Dan's Thoughts, the show, not the overall channel. I want to emphasize this. Just the show will be dedicated to theme park coverage. This is something that I can record, have time to edit it without it becoming outdated. And it's something to talk about, something else I'm really passionate about, something I'm really excited about, and a way to give the theme park coverage its own identity. Now, if I ever do Bat Dan's Thoughts Remastered, obviously I recorded some Bat Dan's Thoughts way before this idea happened. So if I ever do a remastered content, that will be the exception to this. But going forward, as it stands right now, Bat Dan's Thoughts will be dedicated to theme park coverage. I will still continue to cover all the movie talk like normal in the discussion shows.
That's dope.
Thank you.
Yeah, real quick, let me say this because one, I think this is a wonderful idea. You love going to the theme parks and you're really, really engrossed in that entire culture. So I think it's super dope. Because look, even when I was thinking about making my YouTube channel, right? And I've asked other people this because I've helped them kind of build their channels too, where I've always asked them hey, do you feel like you have something to say? And and also what is one thing that you can talk about ad nauseum without getting sick of talking about it? Right. And for me, that was the Snyder stuff. Right. But as somebody that has met Bat Dan and has gone to theme parks with Bat Dan, he is super engrossed in that stuff, man. And I think it's super dope. And yeah, man, I can't wait to see it. And that's also evergreen content too. So people will always kind of be able to look that stuff up and revisit it, and two, it's funny that you say that because I actually just talked to somebody that works at Six Flags Magic Mountain, man. And because I had some words for him because I saw him in my building and he had his shirt on and he had his name tag, and I was like, bro, do you work for Six Flags? And he was like, yeah, man. I was like, bro, what the hell is up with Superman? I said, bro, what the fuck happened? Because for you guys that don't know, the Superman ride has been closed.
I was on it before.
Yep. And bro, you know what his words to me was back then?
Oh, what?
He said, "Just wait."
Huh?
He said, "Just wait," and I was like, "Okay." And he just had like this diabolical ass smile on his face, bro. That's all he said was "Just wait," because he felt my energy. I was like, "Bro, like, what the fuck is up with Superman? Like, how did this gonna close my favorite ride?" And he just like had this diabolical ass look on his face. It was like, "Just wait, man." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Boy. Because I mean, my Superman ride is still active, but
yeah, bro.
But
I don't know.
I'll tell you. See, I'll tell you this, guy. That was.
But that happened like a week ago. Yeah, that was like no more than 10 days ago. Yeah, that was like no more than 10 days ago. That just happened.
So it takes time to get that, for stuff to develop. But really interesting because I mean, I'll tell you, Sky. A big reason why I'm disappointed I can't go to the Cool Table meetup this year. The thing that I'm probably the most upset about, which again, for people who don't know, just it's finance things. I mean, I can't afford to go to LA all the time. But the big thing I'm upset about was actually Magic Mountain. Because I can't review Magic Mountain now. I know I've been there before, but it needs to be fresh in my mind. It can't have just gone a year ago. I need to go more recently. And also, I can't in good conscience review Magic Mountain when I haven't gone on X2 yet. Because now that I've been going on rides more.
Because I told you, bro, that's the best ride there. Yeah. How you going to not get on the best ride there, bro?
Well, in my case, it was closed before we could get on it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but you was looking for it. You was hoping it was closed, bro.
Yeah, fair enough. But now that I kind of worked my way,
he ain't even deny it because he know I'm right. He was low key wishing something happened. He was like, "Man, I don't want to get on this thing, bro." I was like, "Why, man?"
But I've been more adventurous lately. Like as I've been doing and going to Kings Island, I'm a lot more adventurous. I would have done it this time, and what I would have done is I would have bought myself a hat. I'm like, and that's what I'm gonna say. If I ever go to Magic Mountain, I'm going with you. You have to let me buy a hat. Like, you have to give me time to buy a hat before you run to the next ride. Because I'm like, if I'm going on this ride, I'm getting a hat for X2 specifically.
Yeah.
And
they have like hats and t-shirts and all that stuff, like right when you get off.
I'll tell you this, guy, though, if I ever go to Magic Mountain again, like get a chance to go, I actually won't do an official Bat Dance thoughts on it, and I'll tell you why. Because I can't in good conscience do a Magic Mountain review without having you on. So what I would do is I would be my one exception to kind of keeping the theme park conversation out of Bat Dance discussions. What I would do is do a Bat Dance discussions with you on, review different parts of Magic Mountain, and then clip each segment. Because I want to kind of keep the theme park audience, if I really generate a good theme park audience, I want to I don't want them to have to watch a big stream.
Absolutely.
So what I would do is I would clip every segment, and I don't do that for every stream, guys, because now that I'm putting more effort into my clips, that takes time. But with Magic Mountain, I would absolutely do that. So give the DC Universe its own section, but I'll tell you this, Sky, the Batman ride that you have, I have the exact same ride at Great America. It's the exact same ride, and mine's actually the original. So if you ever come to Great America, I know it's the same ride, but you got to ride Batman just because it's the original.
Hey, I'm with it, bro. I'm with it. I love Batman. I just think the X2 is the best ride there.
Mm.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I can't say. I mean, I've seen it on YouTube. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it does look a little nerve-wracking, but I'll tell you this with me too, though. A lot of times with rides, it's the first time I go on it that's the most scary. But once I do it, I can't wait to do it. Like Orion, I was nervous going on.
You got the first Tatsu, right?
What do you say? I did Tatsu. Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So the Superman ride at my park is basically a smaller version of Tatsu.
Okay, I got you.
So the pretzel loop's not as big. Yeah, the pretzel loop. Yeah, it's not as big on Superman, but it's also its first, so you don't really anticipate it. So once you do it, it's like the rest of the ride's not really that scary.
Yeah.
But
Tatsu is towards the end.
Yeah, it's like the last thing about Smackey. I'll tell you this: when one of the operators hooked me on, he asked me how I was doing. I replied, nervous. His response: "You should be."
Oh, good.
So
you a big roller coaster guy, Smackey, or like nah?
Not anymore.
Right? He said, "Hey, that was back in the day."
No, I was telling Bat Dan, I used to go to Six Flags all the time, and then we have the Superman ride here, and then because it's the one where you lay
With
down
Six Flags,
over Georgia.
it's the same ride as the one we have at Great America. It's a clone of that ride. It's the exact same.
Yeah,
It's Tatsu.
So, like,
Okay,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not.
that actually makes sense.
halfway through my the overhead bars, they like unhooked, and I was just like,
What?
huh. I don't think I ever want to be on a roller coaster again. So,
Damn. Hey, I don't know what that would have did to me, bro.
yeah, I mean,
Hey.
you know, I still had the seat belt and all that, but you know,
Yeah. Nah, I do love going to Six Flags though. I can't.
Oh,
lie,
yeah.
man. I just love going, man. I love getting on Superman and all that. See, because we got the fast one, the one that went like 100 miles an hour, and
shoot.
it's oh my god, just amazing, bro,
And it's
amazing.
really short too. Like basically go. So there's a forward and backwards. So basically picture these two going at the same time.
Yeah,
Woo woo.
yeah, it's like you just take off and you're going 100 miles an hour, bro.
And
It's
Are
like
you laying down?
no,
you can hear it.
no, you're sitting down and it's like you're strapped into these carts and you just take off and it's just a long straightaway, and then it curves until it goes like straight up, and then it goes all the way up to the top, and then it just like comes back down and you go all the way back down backwards like super fast. So it's just like a straight line. It's just straight. You go all the way up, and then it kind of like pauses for like a quick second, and you can see like Superman kind of like standing at the top of the thing, and he's looking at you, and then you just go back down.
Okay.
And yeah, they
Depends
used to
which
have
side
the
you go on.
cards going forward, but sometimes they had the cars going backwards as like, well, you're going backwards super fast, and then you get up there, and then when you come back down, you're facing forward.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
the side I did. They didn't. I don't think they had the forward side
Yeah.
open. They had the backwards. So
No,
when I say backwards,
it used to be both of them. They would do both of them going forward. That's the way that I like it. I love it that way. If you could hold a penny in your hand and it'll just levitate. I promise you.
Oh, that
Like
would be...
it'll just levitate in your hand the whole time. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's Magic Mountain's a really nice park, and I always say it's always fun going to a different park because you get a new experience. Now with Great America, I'm not going to do a full-fledged review on Great America because I'm going to go there a lot, and to be honest, I can't afford to travel the world, guys. Okay, so I'll do a lot of different sections of Great America. I'll probably start with the DC Universe section, to be honest, because I feel like that's a good bridge way. And a big reason why I really wanted to get into theme park content is like I'm always going to be part of Cell. I'm always going to be part of Cell. I'm always going to fight for the campaign. But I also needed something to kind of make my channel stand out more, make my channel more unique than like establish my own brand, essentially. So I feel like this is a good way to really do that while still honor and continue to do what I always love doing with you guys, too. It's a good way where I can do these fun discussions with you guys about Netflix and Warner Brothers, and then do something a little on my own with the theme park business. And yeah, and Curly Ray, I'm going to have to clip our little Rebel Moon at Universal segment, too, because that's something I talked about on the Rebel Moon stream is, if Netflix gets Universal, could you imagine a Rebel Moon land? I mean, like a Rebel Moon ride, a Rebel Moon land in one of the theme parks?
Hey, that would be crazy.
A Netflix house at the City Walk?
Right? Hey, see? Hey, and that would be super easy, too. That would be super easy.
The first R-rated like roller coaster going through the vagina space portal.
Right.
It would have to be catered to PG-13 because they have to make it appropriate for the kiddies. But that's a good reason why we have the studio cuts, guys. Because if it was just R-rated,
but they still had the portals in the PG-13 one, right? Were they?
So. Yeah.
I don't, to be honest, at this point, I just watched the director's cuts.
Yeah.
Because
Because the director's cuts opens on the ship, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
I think-
opens where you see the tank thing getting put together, or
can-
moving through the ship. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it goes from there. Then it's on that home world where the the little guy blows up.
bro. Yeah, crazy.
So I mean, again,
like,
that could be a cool.
They are going to hurt her. And that little thing was like, what?
Yeah, that was in the director's cut where they made a.
Oh my god, what a scene, bro!
Setting the tone, man.
And I'm just saying, imagine that in the theme parks. I mean, that's kind of one of the reasons. As much as I'd rather Warner Brothers exist as its own company, there's still part of me that's like, getting Rebel Moon and DC at the Universal theme parks. And I know they do other Netflix IP too. I can't. That's kind of hard for me to be like, no, don't want that. So yeah, Curly Ray, I'm gonna have to clip that segment because, like I said, that's part of the theme park conversation, and I got the theme park coverage needs to be separate. So, and I didn't want to make this announcement until I actually did. Like, I wanted another video recorded before I made this announcement because one of the hardest parts of doing a Bat Dance Thoughts is honestly recording it because it's going by yourself, saying what you want to say, and it's like a live stream. You're less picky with how you say something because it's live. You just accept if something goes wrong. Oh wow. A recording, you want to redo it. So it takes so I wanted to make sure I at least got that recording in, and now that I have the recording in and have a plan have some ideas for Six Flags Great America for some content. And Sky, at some point when my financial situation changes, I am going to go to LA again. I want to do Magic Mountain, Universal, both of which I've done, but I want to do it again for a fresh perspective. And Knott's Berry Farm, which I think I get into that one for free too. I don't get free parking at that one. That's one of the exceptions to the free parking. But
yeah, bro.
Pass.
If you have the pass, you can get in the Knott's too. Yep, because I got the pass and I can go to Knott's.
Yeah, I think the only thing is parking. I think is the only exception with. It's like because Knott's Berry Farm is a lot bigger, so I think they make an exception with that. But yeah, because I upgraded to the all park passport. So, anyways, we don't want to bore people too much with all my personal past stuff, but guys, theme park coverage is going to happen a lot more. And I'm sorry, what'd you say, Smackey?
No, I think your announcement's awesome. I'm looking forward to watching this. I always love watching theme park stuff, especially if you got first person POV type things.
Man, bro, I've snuck my phone on some roller coasters and done that shit a few times. Oh, for sure. Man.
Oh, I'd love to see that penny trick.
Yeah. I did it on Goliath. I did it on Batman. Yeah, I have Goliath, I have Batman, and I think I got some more too.
So I don't have that right now. I'm not saying I won't get that eventually, maybe with meta glasses, but that's probably how I would do it. And I'm not going to do a full ride through ever because I don't want to take away the. I mean, I'm not saying I don't watch those videos ever, but I don't want people to get that from my channel. I might show part of it, but once again, I'm gonna have to do a lot more of these before I really upgrade. You'll see the quality slowly get better with every video.
Yeah.
But
I used to be playing Roller Coaster Tycoon when I was younger. Y'all ever play that?
Yeah, that and
I didn't too much, but my sister did.
Theme park or whatever it was.
I used to be making some crazy roller coasters, bro.
Mr. Bones.
All my people used to be getting sick and throwing up after they get off. You know what I mean? I'd be like, hey, bro.
If they got off.
You got to handle it.
Oh, I did that ride. It was kind of intense, but
I didn't like that ride too much. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I didn't really love it either too much, but hey, at least you have one. See, that's one thing I wish that Great America had. I wish it had a Wonder Woman ride because they have Superman, they have Batman. Now they don't actually have Superman in the actual DC section because they had the DC rides too scattered before they actually had a full-fledged section. So they weren't going to put all the DC rides in one section.
Wait, but Dan, our version of Superman, do they have another version of that? Is somewhere else?
Escape. So your version's called Superman Escape from Krypton. Mine's called Superman Ultimate Flight. So Superman Escape from Krypton.
Yeah.
Which Six Flags have it? I don't know. I think yours. Yep, Magic Mountain's the only one that has your version of Superman.
Damn, yeah, bro. That shit. I love that ride, bro. I love that ride. But it actually makes sense why they call it Tatsu, because if it's pretty much the other Superman one, they're like, we're not gonna call that shit Superman, right? They're like, we're just gonna call it something else and paint it a different color, you know? But it makes sense because it's a flying roller coaster.
Yeah, that's why I like it for Superman, because Six Flags is not. I mean, I love Six Flags, but if you're asking it as a theme park, I'm not gonna lie, it's not the best. It's a fun amusement park with fun rides, but theming is not. Like, it's hard to really. They don't really have like all these animatronics, so I appreciate stuff like Flying Superman, because it makes it feel. It's a good way to.
The only animatronics are in the Justice League thing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, which I do have that
DC
ride.
Animatronics, right? Yeah.
Actually, my Six Flags also has the Dark Knight roller coaster too, which is an indoor ride with some animatronics.
Oh yeah, like for my Batman, they had like a bunch of props from like Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
Yeah, your Batman ride is exactly the same as ours, I believe. The inverted coaster.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Hey, I do got to dip out, guys, because my homie's downstairs. I got to go let him in. Hey, I appreciate y'all having me on. Shout out to you, Smackey. Hey, bro, I got to get you on the panel, man.
Yeah, I'd love it, man.
You know what I'm saying? Wait. What's up with that hat? Is that like the band, or is that like some military shit?
No, man, it's the band. I'm
okay, because it looked like it could have been either one. I was like, bro, if Smackey got on a military hat, I gotta ask him.
No, I tried to join, but I couldn't.
You was too bad, man.
No, medical stuff.
Oh, I feel it, bro.
No, I was the first one in my family that couldn't. So
everybody couldn't go to MEPS and go walk like a duck in their fucking underwear across a floor full of other people. You know, like it takes a certain kind of person to do that, bro.
No, I pass out
right now. Yeah, no, that shit was crazy. Hey, but I appreciate y'all having me on, and yo, that's a dope announcement back then.
Yeah, it is, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yep. Peace to you guys.
Your star.
Wait, is that Star Labs, bro?
Yeah.
Hey, that's tough, man. That's tough, man. Yeah, I gotta get y'all on the fucking platform, bro. I'm gonna think of something. Yep. All right, y'all. Peace.
It's always great having Sky on. And now to wrap this up, so final thoughts, and what do you have coming up?
I'm getting back on Twitch. I'll put my Twitch name on my Twitter if you follow me on there. It's still Smackadon on Twitter. Other than that, I've been I talked to Cozy about this, but I'm writing a book. I'm writing a couple of books actually, but yeah, anytime you want to have me on, I'll be here. Hopefully Paramount backs out the deal tomorrow, and we'll have a surprise stream tomorrow. Other than that, congrats on your announcement. I think that's dope. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you do. Because I love theme parks, and I think that's awesome. I don't get to go as much as I want, so it's cool to live vicariously through people, especially a friend of mine. So yeah, I think that's awesome.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. I really look forward to seeing what you continue to do with your platforms. And coming up for me, other than the Kings Island review, at some point I do want to cover some of the Zack Snyder news and rumors that's been coming out. I didn't really cover it on this stream because that needed its own topic. That needed its own stream. So, and again, the Paramount merger as it happens, like again, guys, this channel is growing, this channel is expanding, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited where this channel is going to go, and I really appreciate all the support, guys. So, guys, if you like this stream, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more unique takes, interesting thoughts, and great discussions such as these. And on that note, any final words, Smackey?
Dan, you're also a star.
Have a bat-tastic day.